Hey, welcome back to the channel. There are a ton of different smartwatches out there. One thing that may be keeping people from getting into that market is the price. Now, these smartwatches don't always have to be expensive. Today we are looking at the TicWatch E2, which is an affordable Android Wear OS watch. And if you don't mind skipping a few features, it may be a really great way for you to get into that market and experience what a smartwatch can do for you. All right, let's jump into the design of the TicWatch E2, and it is super lightweight, very comfortable to wear. The reason why it's so lightweight is because it's made of plastic, but it's a very durable plastic. I've not damaged it at all. It seems really solid. It's really well built. The screen on the watch is great. It's very bright. Unless you are in direct sunlight, then it's a little bit difficult to read, but it's still readable. I just wish it was a little bit brighter for those direct sunlight situations. The responsiveness of the screen is great. I've never had misswipes or anything like that. On the right side of the watch, there's one button for navigation. I'll get a little bit more into that later. And also the hole for the microphone. Now there is a microphone on this so you can interact with your notifications and things like that, but there is no speaker. So those notifications are gonna have to be text replies and not voice replies. And then around on the back of the watch is the heart rate sensor. Now, talking a little bit about that navigation. Navigation is done with a combination of both the screen and that side button. The navigation with the screen is very responsive. It's very intuitive. If you've ever used any smart device, you're not going to have a problem navigating this watch. And then that side button has a few different capabilities. If you click on it, it'll take you back to the home screen, which is basically the watch face. If you double press on it, it'll bring you into your list of applications, and then you can swipe through that list and select whatever app you want. And if you long press on that button, it'll bring you into the voice assistant where you can interact with the Google Assistant. Again, you can interact with your voice because this does have a microphone on it, but it does not have a speaker to get those responses. So it's all gonna be on the watch. It's gonna be a visual response. So as I mentioned before, the watch is running Wear OS, and at this point, Wear OS is pretty mature. It's a very solid experience. Like I said, that navigation is very intuitive, and because it's Wear OS, you get access to all the watch faces and applications that are available on Wear OS. There's a bunch that are preloaded on the watch, and then you can just go into the store on the watch, navigate to whatever additional app you want. Everything worked great, and I've yet to find an app that didn't work on this watch, with the exception of any NFC enabled watches. This watch does not have NFC, so you can't use it for like Google Pay or anything like that, or any other applications that uses NFC. Aside from that, I haven't found anything that hasn't worked. The performance of the watch is decent. Now remember, this is a budget smartwatch, so it doesn't have the fastest internals. There is a little bit of lag when you're launching applications. There's quite a bit of lag when you're using the voice assistant. But if you're willing to deal with that for the price you can get this for, it's not a horrible experience. Just be prepared to wait a little bit longer because this is a little bit cheaper device. Now, the TicWatch E2 does a pretty good job of fitness tracking as well. It tracks all the stuff you would expect out of the box, your steps, your calories, your active minutes, all that kind of stuff. And then you could track additional exercises. Now, Mobvoi has created their own fitness app that comes pre-installed on the watch, so you can use that to track your fitness, and you can also use Google Fit. Now, Mobvoi also has some APIs that'll automatically detect when you're doing certain activities. Honestly, I've not found a difference in the accuracy of these two trackers. The Mobvoi and the Google Fit seem to track just as well. With the built-in GPS in the watch, GPS sync is pretty quick on both sets of apps, and they both seem to track it pretty reliably. But the Tic Fitness app seems to integrate a little bit better with the watch, and the only limitation I found with the fitness tracking is that there's no sleep tracking. Now, Mobvoi's website does show that sleep tracking is going to be coming in the future, but I have no idea when that is going to be released. As of right now, it doesn't track your sleep. In addition, of course, this has the smartwatch capabilities of getting your notifications and things like that. That works really well. I've not had a problem with those notifications syncing over. And then any applications that you might download that synchronize with back and forth with your phone, those work really well as well. I've not had a problem with any of that syncing or communication between my phone and the watch. Now, all in all, I would say that the TicWatch E2 is a decent budget Wear OS watch. It is a little bit sluggish at times. It doesn't have that speaker and it doesn't have NFC, but if you're okay with that, the price is right on these watches and it's a good experience. Now, if you're not tied to Wear OS and you don't mind having a few less apps available, In my opinion, a better entry-level experience is to spend a little bit more on the Galaxy Watch Active. That's a much better smartwatch experience in my opinion. But if you want all the capabilities and the applications that are available with WearOS, then the TicWatch E2 might be a really great option for you. Hopefully you found this useful and informative. If you did, please hit that thumbs up. If you really liked it and you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. Leave comments down below if you have any questions on anything I went over, and I will see you in the next video.